There we go.
Hi,
Hello. So
can you
thank you
hear
for
me?
persevering with us. It's the final session of the day. And we had many insightful, amazing, inspiring presentations, but all of them came from the field of localization. You, on the other hand, you have been the lighthouse for people in AI. I've been a fan of your newsletter. I've been following it for years. I know you've been doing it for more than 5 years. And if I may, I'll just quickly show that how it looks like.
And as you're doing it, I'll say that we are talking about 463,375 followers.
No, that's just for Andrei, and the newsletter has
Yeah, and then there is the
850,000.
newsletter, true.
Right. So you've been always summarizing the most important trends and news in AI. And just by following your newsletter, one could feel the pace of the progress, what's going on in Gen AI. And the most important things, you don't have to read all the magazines, Wired, TechCrunch, etc. Just Andrew's newsletter is enough. So thank you very much for that. I am privileged and honored so that you join us today. Thank you. What would you like to say to the people in localization? What should we expect in the future? What is the way? How do we come in the generative AI world, and how does the generative AI world come into our lives in the next couple of years? We're very eager to hear your story and your perspective on us, on the industry.
Yeah, thanks, Costa, for invitation. And I wanted to say about the newsletter. So I try to keep it short. And you say like people don't need to read this and this. Who reads anymore? You know, like when I open some article and it's more than a page, I don't read it. I copy paste it into some chatbot and I say, what are the top three ideas that I should be aware about this article. And if I'm interested, I might read it, but more often than not, it's okay for me to stick to these three paragraphs. Yeah, so thanks for the invitation. Sorry, the UI asked me about my language. Should I answer it or?
It's for the
I-
transcription. If you answer that it is English, it will transcribe you accurately.
okay, because the things that I'm talking in Portuguese. Okay, I will say that it's English. Yeah, okay, so let me share my screen for my slides.
I'll mention why it's Portuguese. We are supported today by a fantastic events team from AP Portugal, our
Okay,
long-term partner in events. They're fantastic for interpreting, for organizing events. We've run through Geneva events together for the United Nations and through localization events. So thank you very much, the team from AP Portugal, for supporting us today. Andrei,
yeah,
sorry, it was a
th
plug. It was a plug.
cool. Thanks again. Let's start. So yeah, I will talk today about modern AI. So I understand that maybe some more advanced in their knowledge of what modern AI is, why it's modern compared to whatever else AI they might be. And I will try to navigate you through this generative AI revolution because it's really a revolution. Despite too much hype around it, there is something. There is a kernel that is really big. So about me in AI. So I did my PhD in multi-agent systems in 2011. So before the agents became, I think everyone is talking about, scientists actually worked on multi-agents and multi-agent systems. So I have experience with Fujitsu and Gartner. And I'm an author of three best-selling books on machine learning and language models. Yes, as Kostya said, I have a newsletter with about 1 million subscribers now, and currently I decided to concentrate on my life on writing books. So I'm working part-time as an advisor to several tech startups. So I'm not an employee anymore. So what happened in 2023? Because this is where it all started. So before ChatGPT and before OpenAI made it available to people, doing AI required quite a strong set of skills. This includes scientific skills about mathematics, statistics. This includes computer science. So the person who wants to build AI was supposed to be a programmer. And it required a lot of practical experience, because if you just program something, put some data in it, and it doesn't work, you should kind of feel where to go so to make it work. So what happened in 2023 and why it's a revolution is because OpenAI with ChatGPT put AI in the hands of lay people. Like anyone can now say that they build AI because they can just instruct a language model verbally, and this model will do something that this person or their clients might find useful. So it's a huge shift from requiring a very very expensive experience and education to something casual anyone can do in their sofa from home. So the shift was from writing complex code and years of experience to simple I need. So you need something, you type it, you get it. And when tech companies have seen that this is possible, they started every company that you hear about, like Google, Amazon. There are new startups like OpenAI, Anthropic, Mistral in Europe. So they all started to build such language models, and they build them strong as ChatGPT. And for the first year, for 2023 and the half of 2024, ChatGPT was the strongest. But then other companies catch up, and today ChatGPT it's not even the strongest model anymore. So it was an avalanche of new models that have become available to billions of people in a matter of a couple of years. So it was a big deal. And also, it was a few, like previously, when you worked on AI, you worked on one specific modality. For example, my specialization was text. So my inputs were text, my outputs were some predictions about text or some text normalized somehow. But today, these models, they fuse different modalities. So you can have text as input, image as output, image as input, text as output, image as input, image as output, video, sound, everything is mixed in one model. So it's again, in addition to how easy it is to make AI do something for your business, it's also easy to to feed it with any input you have. So previously, for example, if you had images, you needed a model specific for image, or you needed some model to transform image to text, and then you can use your text-based AI. Today, you just put everything in one model, and you can get anything back. And when we talk about text, so it's a huge shift from what I call highlighting to rewriting. So previously, before ChatGPT, when you work on some text, the best you can do with AI was highlight some words that might be typed wrong, or maybe there is a better alternative how to phrase a specific paragraph. But today, it rewrites. So it not just says something is wrong and probably here. It will say, I think that something is wrong, and this is what you should have written instead. So it does style adaptation, it does summarization, it does paraphrasing, and it also writes from scratch. So as a writer myself, and I think I can call myself a writer because I now have more than one book. I think that writing from scratch is a big help for writers because everyone is aware of the writer block. So you don't know how to start a new book or a new chapter, and now you just type something in the language model, and you say, I want to write a chapter about this. How would I start it, or what information it would contain, and it will unblock you very fast. So this is something again previously AI couldn't do. So what are the big use cases? Because, well, everyone is talking that language models are huge, they change everything. But in reality, okay, what's in it for business? And the biggest use cases currently, like the way I categorize them, are as follows. The first, I call it the initial 70%. So for example, let's say you want to start a new project and you don't know exactly how to start it. What would be the beginning? What you do? What you need to think about? What are the unknowns? What are the some catch-ups? Or sorry, some catch or gotchas? Like what you need to create some kind of a mental model of the solution. So in this case, previously you need to brainstorm. So let's say you are lucky and you have a very talented team of specialists from various domains. So you all sit together around the table, and you start just throwing ideas on the table and discuss back and forth. You make notes. Eventually, in the end of this brainstorming, and sometimes it takes multiple sessions, you have like a whiteboard with different notes, different stages of the project execution, who needs to be involved, and so on. So today, it's all can happen in a session with an LLM. So one person who wants to build something new, they start asking questions to a language model. The language model will say, okay, I know I understand what you want to build. You need to think about this, about that. So it replaces an entire team of very qualified specialists with just a couple of sessions with the language model. So brainstorming was replaced basically with a chat. And good brainstorming, it might account to up to 70% of the project, because if you plan it's well and you cover it all bases, then it's just execution that remains. Then another big use case that falls in this initial 70% is coding. Again, with coding, it's similar to any other big project. So you need to do all these brainstorming steps, and in addition, you need to what they call bootstrap the project. So like it's installation of different frameworks that you need to work with. It's the creation of different functionalities like front end, back end, database, how they're all interconnected. You need to create what we call an MVP, like minimum viable product. So it's something that you can always you can show to the potential user and say, okay, this is a working prototype. What you would like to improve here. So going to this initial prototype or minimum viable product that you can actually put online was a very challenging part. But as soon as you have this minimum working product, then you can have a team who will add additional features. But the skeleton, it's already there and it's working. And again, this accounts for up to 70% of most software projects. Of course, the remaining 30% can take years, but these years you will work already on something that runs online and potentially even generate some revenue. So another very important and effective use case, it's adaptation. So something like transform A to look like B. So you can take any text and or even a bunch of bullet points, and you can take a, let's say, I don't know, a technical documentation, existing technical documentation. And you might say, I want to write a similar documentation based on these bullet points. So generate information to the best of your knowledge, and then I will continue working on it by hand. So like, or you can put an image drawn in some visual style, and you say, draw me an image in a similar visual style, but put a little boy in the room with their parents instead of a little girl riding a bicycle. So it will draw an entirely different scene, but in a style that you want. So for example, you work on a book, you need illustrations in some specific style, you can do it yourself. You don't need to hire an artist for this. So the artist will provide you examples of their style, and then you continue to work in this style as long as you want. This raises, of course, ethical questions, whether you can do it, whether style contains IPs and so on. But I will not go into these details because it's debated currently, and I think it will continue to be debated for this year and maybe a couple of more years. Write a new piece in this style. This is what I say. Like you need some new image in the same style as the rest of your book. You just provide pictures from your book, and you get a new one in the same style. Self-education, it's a huge domain. So imagine the life before ChatGPT. You want to know something, and you don't have any Harvard professor, in your phone book, and very few of us do have such people available. So what do? You can go to Wikipedia. Maybe you will be lucky. You will find something. You can, I don't know, search in some scientific papers archive. Maybe if you can read such papers, you are lucky. But if not, that's it for you. No one in your circle of friends can advise you on this topic. Today, you just ask a question to a language model, and you will get an answer. Of course, this answer might contain errors, and most likely it will. This is why I say hallucinating Harvard professor. But for many people, even having a sick Harvard professor in their phone book is better than not having any at all. At least you will be you will be shown some direction in which to go. You will be given some basics of the domain, and then if you are persistent, you will dig the rest by yourself. Again, so now 8 billion people on Earth have access to this Harvard professor. This is huge. And finally, scientific research, it's a big deal. Probably it's less talked about because it's more kind of scientific, but previously, and I was a scientist, so let's say you work on a paper. So you propose some new algorithm, but to publish the paper, you need to provide some properties of the algorithm, whether it will be fast or slow, how much memory it will consume, and so on. So I need to provide some theoretical properties of this algorithm. And normally, you just sit in your office, you look at this algorithm, and you think, what kind of properties it has? Like, where do I look at to even start to thinking like, oh, okay, I would prove this or prove that. Today, you paste your algorithm description and the source code in the chat bot, and you say, what kind of properties other scientists would find valuable if I prove them? And if once you have this list, you can even say, show me how would you prove it? And again, it might prove it wrong. It might send you in some direction where there is no exit. But at least you will start with something. You will see flaws and you will fix them. So for scientists, it's really a big deal. It's already resulting in an avalanche of papers as never before, but it will only accelerate.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Andriy, I'm awfully sorry for interrupting you, but just for the sake of time, I know that there's a lot of amazing content that you have, but I'm sure our audience wants to capitalize on the opportunity of having you in the room and ask some questions. And I see a question from Marina Sanchez Torron. here we are in localization industry. Like we are one of the application cases for AI. Do you see any use cases for agentic AI in the localization industry? We know that in your newsletters, you've published some of your opinions about agentic AI. So here we are in a niche industry. What do you think about us and agentic?
Yeah, well, we need to define what agentic AI means, because many people just use this term without like a formal definition of it. So an agent is, from scientific perspective, it's a program that was trained to act in some specific environment. So this program was able to do some actions in this environment, receive some feedback like observations. Okay, I did that, and this changed. And then the program was trained to adapt its behavior based on the feedback it receives from the environment. So this is not what we talk about today about agentic AI or agentic, let's say, localization system. What they call agentic today is basically a language model that you prompted to act as something. So you might say, okay, today you are a translator, or today you are a localizer, or today you are a project manager, and your tasks are A, B, C, D. So long story short, it's not really optimized to work in any particular environment. So you can ask it to be whoever you want. And you can even ask it to explain to you whether they understood your request well. And you will read this explanation and you will say, yeah, exactly. But there is zero guarantee that it will do exactly what you want it to do, because it's a language model. It was trained to generate text that convince you that this text makes sense. This is the only thing that it can do. It doesn't think, it doesn't plan, it doesn't have agency, so it doesn't have its own desires. It doesn't have any sense of meaning. So you just put a text in it, and you see what kind of text it can generate back. Sometimes this text is useful for you, and you are happy. Sometimes it's a total nonsense, and you are unhappy. This is how it works. So yes, maybe some of those LLMs fine-tuned, not fine-tuned, but instructed to do some translation work might do it seven times out of 10 well. But for the 3 remaining times, it will be probably absolute garbage. And if you blindly trust it and send the result of this work to your customer, you will be disappointed, because the customer will be disappointed.
Absolutely. So thanks so much. Dear audience, I don't, unless something is wrong with my feed, I don't see any more. Oh no, Sylvia, here's a question from Sylvia. Do you think that AI is good at evaluating things in general?
Yes, very well. It's better than a regular human being. And I can give you my first-hand experience. I currently, well, I just finished to work on my book on language models, and it contains a lot of code inside and a lot of derivation of some equations and theorems. And I used a lot LLMs to find flaws in those derivations, find bugs in those codes. And if you ask it once, twice, 3 times, you can ask different. Today, you can ask ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, DeepSeek, and the chance that like all of them will miss a bug, if there is a bug, is very, very tiny. But asking them to write without bugs is a challenge. So if you like, so my kind of message that I sent to everyone, LLMs will augment you incredibly if you're already a specialist in some domain. So if you're already a scientist, they will augment you as a scientist. If you're already a coder and you know some specific language or a framework, they will generate code that you will read and you will say cool, or you will say not cool, fix it. But if you are a kind of nobody, you have no knowledge whatsoever, and you wanted to code for you or to do any problem solving, again, 7 times out of 10, you might be lucky and it will work. The remaining 3, your clients will sue you, and you will not like it.
That sounds sounds pretty thoughtful. Konstantin, looks like you might have a question. No.
Yes, Andriy. So, what are the professions we can shoot for, right? So, translator as a profession is not ending, but it's facing challenges, right? Some people don't like post editing, others feel it's not creative anymore. They don't like the price pressure. And then looking both translators and project managers how to build the career which will last a few years. We don't have a lot of future on which to base our pattern recognition, but perhaps you have an insight into where should we be vectoring our careers. What do you think is the uh, goal where we be aiming our skill sets and our narrative? Because the skill sets don't change that much, but the narrative is very important.
Yeah, well, my last part is about this. So how much time do I have?
Let's have a couple of minutes.
Okay, well, very quickly. So LLM, it's a tool, but it's a tool with a catch because you don't know how to use it, and no one knows. So, like, for example, when you use a drill, you know it drills holes. You use a hammer, you know it hammers nails. When you use a language model, what it does, you don't know. Because why you don't know? Because its training data is hidden, and what it can do, it's based on the training data. It cannot do anything that it's not in the training data. It's hidden. And even if it wasn't hidden, imagine study the entire internet and the entire body of all published books to figure out whether it can answer your question. Impossible. Okay, so you never know whether it will save you time or it will waste, make you waste your time. So as I said, it doesn't have agency, so it will fail in face of true unknowns. It will fail in when you need it to plan, weight risk, even humor and sarcasm. It cannot get it because it takes thinking, real thinking, not pattern matching. Okay, so this is kind of indicators that it will not take anyone's job. But it will not take anyone's job, but it will make people doing some job very, very effective in what they do. Okay, again, depending on the use case. So like as I put here, some professions, productivity boost is so large that large teams aren't needed anymore. So large team of translators, copy editors, proofreaders, online content moderators, copywriters, and I put here junior software engineers, data analysts, and paralegals. Because like now, LLM can write code better than a junior software engineer. So why would you hire it? You would just hire a couple of seniors who will just, you know, write prompts and correct if it was poorly written. Data analyst, now you don't write, as a data analyst, you don't write code in Python to analyze. LLM can generate graphs for you 1,000 times a day. Okay, so new professions arise, and they are for two kinds of people. The first kind of people is those who understand AI. It can feel what AI can do. So what does it mean? It doesn't mean that you need to work with it 24/7. You need to test it on different scenarios and see what works well for you and what didn't. So it takes expertise in understanding how those models work. And this is why, for example, I wrote this book on LLMs. I actually explain like the background of it, like when it fails, why, what happens inside that it makes it fail. It takes years of practical hands-on experience. I have like 2.5 years because I started to use it when it was still ChatGPT 3.5, and I see the progression. I can now predict that, okay, this wasn't impossible 2 years ago. Now it is. So my experience evolves together with these models. And it takes talent as well. As anything in human kind of work, some people are more talented in something than others. So if you are lucky, you have a talent, and you might say, yeah, this try an LLM. This don't do it. You will waste time. And another type of people is those who pay attention to detail, because as we discussed, 3 times out of 10 it will fail, but it will fail in such a subtle way that for like, you know, when you read it quick, you will not notice it. So it takes people who will read and notice every kind of glitch and deviation from what was requested, especially in instruction following. And these corrections, they will be fed into the training data. The model will be retrained, and next time, hopefully it will be better in this case, but it will be still poor in some other cases. And interactive problem solving. So people will need to, for example, when you work with frontier LLMs like ChatGPT or Gemini, it's not like one shot. I give you this, you give me that, I'm happy. No, it's always like, okay, no, this is not exactly what I wanted. Okay, I will paraphrase and so on. So to generate this long conversation on which these models can be improved, it takes people, and it takes people with this specific talent to pay attention to the minor detail and fix all of them. So here I just yesterday took a bunch of screenshots of new job posts with new titles that you would not see a couple of years ago. So prompt engineer, AI governance or QA quality consultant, annotation, AI annotation team member or lead, proofreader for AI, AI ML consultant, so AI strategy consultant for consultant. For example, companies don't know what to do with it. So if you can explain, okay, you have this business and AI could help you here and here this way, they pay for this. So I put
Andrew, I think here we need to wrap up. If you'd like to say some final statements here.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So keep your old skill. I will share this deck. So your old skill like creativity, knowledge of languages, problem solving, attention to detail, they are all needed. It's just in different applications. So how to future proof your career? So you start to think. You need to start to think as an engineer, like decompose a complex problem into smaller pieces and explaining them piece by piece to an LLM. Critical thinking, AI intuition, as I said. So you need to continuously learn, as I do, and develop human-centric skills, because LLMs don't have agency. They cannot be leaders. They cannot communicate with different people. Collaboration is problematic. They don't have empathy. They are not creative. You are. So how to do it? Online learning platforms like Coursera, newsletters like my newsletter, True Positive Weekly, you can Google it. Ask AI about anything, but verify the answers. So yeah, this is it. And yeah, so I put here my book on language models. It's for all levels of knowledge. It's 100 page, so you can quickly scan it during the weekend. And if you decide to learn to code them, there are code examples as well.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Andriy, if you have some time, we will have networking now. I will wrap the conference, so let me show what to do next. Thank you for your presentation, and I think most people here relate. Look at the number of likes and applause which is coming, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it up. I think today's event has been important. I think we made a dent in the market, and we also understand much more what to do and how to do it, with the help of the professionals who have been sharing the knowledge openly today and giving us a path to the future. Now, if you'd like to relax a little bit and discuss what was said, meet each other, forge connections, we have some networking prepared for you. So you can either use the link in the chat, or you can go to the webpage for GenAI and localization and click join the networking. It will bring you to a Zoom meeting. There's a few breakout rooms, and Javier Diaz, a very famous influencer in our industry, has prepared some special entertainment and discussions for you, which you can all participate in. Thank you. It's been a fantastic day, and I learned a lot. Hopefully you did too. Tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, we continue with workshops, and we'll work on the practical hands-on skills, have some exercises to continue this festival of becoming a GenAI in localization specialist. Thank you again to everybody who contributed to making this event a success. Andriy, Olga, AP Portugal, Multilingual, all the people who have been sharing, moderating, presenting. It's a long list. Thank you. I'm very happy I can be a part of this group, and that we can be together in this pivotal moment in our industry. Goodbye, and I see you at networking. Ciao.
Thank you. Bye.